Okay, next we have Halloween 2, the sequel by Rob Zombie. And the only real problem I have with this film is whenever it does the flashback sequences, it has a different child actor playing the young Michael.
Rob Zombie apparently wanted to use the same actor, but he had gotten too old and too tall by then, so he had to recast him. It wasn't something he wanted to do, but he did it.
And the movie starts out with a definition of white horse syndrome, which I'm not sure is real or not, or if he made it up, but it's the ability to overcome powerful discomfort and physical impossibilities through a strong emotional reaction, as we see with Michael's resurrection. And it picks up right where the second movie, or the first movie, left off, and Michael's being hauled away in an ambulance, presumed dead, and Laurie's being taken to a hospital, which is a pretty graphic operating scene.
Yeah.
I didn't remember how bad it was till I watched it last night, and
It wasn't so bad on Lori as it was with her friend, what was her name?
Annie.
Annie. That when they were operating on Annie, there was a lot of pretty gratuitous graphic surgery. I liked it.
As did I, but I don't know. I thought Laura's was a bit more just because the whole shattered fingernail thing. That kind of it's those small irritating injuries.
Yeah, when they were pulling her fingernail out.
Yeah, that. But Lori has this nightmare of Michael coming to the hospital to finish her off, and well, you don't know it's a nightmare at first. I'm sorry, I might have just ruined that, but hey, that's 15 minutes out of an hour and a half movie, so quit bitching. Um, she wakes up in her foster home to realize that, it's the same, but it's getting closer to Halloween 2 years after the first movie's events.
She's now living with Annie and her father in their house. They've graduated, obviously, and they're just trying to deal with the trauma of the first attack.
Annie's father is also the sheriff of the town that we see in the first movie, and Annie seems to be dealing with the trauma a whole lot better than Lori, but she's not related to Michael, even though she went through a similar circumstance, being attacked by this masked maniac, and
while Lori doesn't know she's related, she's always felt a connection. And as Rob Zombie said in a quote, this is just a rough quote, that he wanted to show Lori slipping into insanity much more gradually than Michael did.
And he does a good job with that, because I think that's a pretty realistic portrayal of what would happen to someone if they were in a situation like that, like a survivor-like syndrome, where you think, I should have died, I should have, been involved, or something like that. It could have been me. Sorry, the screensaver's messing with us. And we see Dr. Loomis becoming a very successful author, and they kind of make him out to be a dick in this movie.
Yeah, he was a complete prick in this movie.
Yeah, they show him as exploiting the whole situation through his book just to make millions as an author, and when asked if he thinks Michael Myers is dead because they don't find his body because there's an accident in the ambulance that was carrying him, he just freaks out on this entire auditorium full of journalists, and that kind of shows that he himself is a little afraid of what might be real. Okay, so we see the teens recovering and stuff, and then it cuts to Michael walking in a field, clearly alive, which you see in the earlier scene where he attacks the ambulance drivers after they hit a cow,
Yeah.
which is
After talking about fucking corpses, no less.
yeah. Hey Corey, what's the difference between jam and jelly?
No, I don't know. What is the difference?
I can't jelly my dick up a dead girl's ass. Oh, that's an actual quote.
It is.
Oh, don't hold me on that one. Anyway, after a very graphic murder scene between Michael and the very sick necrophiliac ambulance driver, we see him walking through a field, slowly getting closer and closer towards town. I forgot the name of their town.
I did too.
Yeah, but like I said, it's getting closer to Halloween, and Lori's nightmares seem to be getting worse and worse, and she goes to her psychiatrist and has a fallout with her. And she has a fallout with Annie because she just feels no one understands, the whole thing. Yeah. And events get set into motion. They go to this Halloween party with a rock and roll band and whatnot, and Michael starts doing what he does best, knocking them off one by one. And this goes on, and
Well, before she goes to the party, she reads Sam Loomis's book, which informs her that she is, in fact, Michael Myers' sister. And that fucks with her head even more. So she felt the need like she had to go out and get fucked up, which, you know, in a horror movie, that's never a good idea. Don't do that. If you're ever in a horror movie, don't get fucked up.
or have sex, which she managed to avoid.
She managed to avoid having sex. Her friend didn't. She had
In a van.
She had sex with the Wolfman in a van, and she got pulled through the window and choked to death.
Yeah, let's not give away too much. Alright, really the big twist in this movie is at the end, you know, as it is with most horror films. I don't know if we should talk about it or not.
I think that we should.
Okay, spoiler alert. Eventually Laurie gets into this cat and mouse game with Michael. She chases him, or he chases her to a cabin where they're alone.
He's basically holding her hostage, but they're both having the shared hallucination that young Michael and their mother is there with her. Young Michael is holding her down. She thinks she's being held down. She actually isn't. She's having a psychotic attack. At this point, Annie has already been killed, and her father, the sheriff, has already found her. He tracks them down to this cabin where he's holding her hostage. And basically what goes down is a standoff.
And one thing I like about this movie, about the series in general, it's never really made clear if Michael wants to kill Laurie or not.
Yeah.
If he just wants to be physically reunited with her, or if he wants to kill her and then himself and then the whole family be together in death. It never really explains that, and I really like that amount of mystery to it.
He seems content just to have her in the cabin with him.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't look like he was about to kill her. They were just talking.
Of course, she was scared shitless, but
Yeah.
who wouldn't be? We forgot to mention this at the beginning. Michael Myers, the adult version, is portrayed by Tyler Mane, a Canadian wrestler who's also known as playing Sabretooth in the first X-Men movie. Yes, very scary, very dark, brooding guy. About 6'9".
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And so the standoff continues. Loomis shows up, and Michael hates Loomis.
With good reason.
With good reason. And so it finally happens so that Michael comes out of the cabin, and I don't know if he has like Laurie in like a knife to throw position or something, and then lets go of her. Did something like that happen?
Laurie was still
I fell
in the
asleep.
cabin. Michael was trying to choke Loomis. He had him, and he pushed him through the wall of the cabin, so they were both outside. They both stood up, and then Michael said the first word as an adult he says in
Die!
the movie. Just says die,
Die!
and stabs him in the gut.
And
And
then-
I don't really like that, but at the same time, it's very effective because he hates Loomis with everything that he has.
I like it, but only in the sense that this is the last Rob Zombie Halloween movie. Because I think it's appropriate that, you know, his last word living is die. And Laurie survives after the police open fire on Michael and just unload on him.
She walks out of the cabin, picks up Michael's knife, and goes over to Loomis, and she's about to stab him. She wants to finish the job because he ruined her life too. She hates him as well. She's finally broken, like Rob Zombie wanted her to in the end, and she's going to take a life. And then it doesn't show which police officers start to fire, but at least one of them shoots her a couple times, and she's presumed dead at the end. And then it proceeds into this scene where she's in the white hallway she dreamed about earlier in the movie with her mom, Cherry Mood Zombie, and Michael, and the white horse. And that's the end of the movie.
We forgot to cover the first movie's DVD aspects and whatnot. We have an alternate ending, deleted scenes with optional commentary.
The alternate ending on the
bloopers.
first one is very good. I like the alternate ending better than the first one, but the original ending that they decided to use is actually more similar to the ending of the second one. The police open fire on Michael, and they look back and his body's gone.
They also have the mini mask of Michael Myers, which I'm assuming is like a production thing on all the different productions of the mask that he creates in his cell. Reimagining Halloween, probably a making-of featurette. Meet the cast, casting sessions, Laurie Strode screen test, which I bet is nice to watch. I hadn't checked out the specials on this one. The DVD looks to be pretty top-notch. Troy probably got this at Hastings.
Yeah, it was at Hastings. We have the unrated director's cut here. It's pretty nice. There's lots of extras on it. Everything's fantastic.
Yeah, you can probably get it for about $10 used.
Yeah, probably something like that.
Alright, so I'd give the DVD a solid 8 or 9 out of 10.
Yeah, 8 or 9, something like that.
And the movie itself, what would you give it?
The movie itself, I would give it at least a 9, if not a 10, because I really liked it.
I agree, I'd go with a 9 or 10. Now, Halloween 2, also the unrated director's cut. Special features include deleted and alternate scenes, audition footage, makeup test footage, blooper reel, Captain Clegg and Night Creatures music video.
Which I love. It's this
Rockabilly.
It's this horror rockabilly western band with like a vampire theme, and their songs are hilarious and they're awesome. And they've got three. I think there's 3 music videos on the special edition. Or the special features. I really like it.
There's also commentary with Rob Zombie and Uncle Seymour's Coffin stand-up routines. You know what that is?
Uncle Seymour, I don't know.
I didn't check that out, but it doesn't have as many bonus features as the first
Not
movie.
quite, no, because the first one has a completely separate disc for all of their goodies.
And this one is just a one-disc thing, but still quite a few decent extras. Like Corey said, about 3 music videos, so I'd give this DVD a good, solid 8. And the movie itself, I would also give an 8.
I would give the special features a 9 because of Clegg and the Night Creatures. But the movie itself, I'd probably give about an 8. It was good, but it wasn't just picturesque like most people expected it would be.
These were put out by Dimension, I think both of them were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dimension.
and the first one circa 2007 and the second one circa 2009. This has been another episode of B-Money's Horror Review with special guest Corey Lytle,
Yeah.
and we'll see you later.
All up in you.